Hello everyone, welcome to the second video on a series where we are building appointment scheduler on Google Conversational Agent. In this video, let's understand the backend that we are using to interact with Google Calendar. Also, in this video, we will be connecting all the tools to GCA and we will make sure that all tools are working and connected to our backend. I'm here on Insomania. It is a tool where you can interact with local developed APIs. I have 4 API endpoints. First, get free slots of a day. When you provide a day, it fetches all the free slots for that particular day. Then there is endpoint to check availability for a particular time slot. When you provide a date and time and hit the endpoint, it will tell you that whether the slot is free or not. Then we have endpoint to create an event on our Google Calendar. It takes bunch of information and when you hit send, it will actually creates an event in the Google Calendar. Finally, I have the 4th API route which shows upcoming free slots. It doesn't take anything, but when you hit the endpoint, it considers today, date and the time as starting point and see all the upcoming free slots available on my Google Calendar. And these 4 are actually running locally on my machine but connected to my actual Google Calendar. Now we will head over to conversationalagents.cloud.google.com. The first thing you need to do is select a project on which you want to work. So I want to work on this YouTube demo RWCL project. Once you select the project, it shows all the agent under that project. These are conversational agents. In order to work on this agent, I'll create new agent. There are 3 options: use a pre-built agent, build your own, and create a Q&A agent. So I'll choose build your own agent. I'll give a name to the agent so I can identify it. Then there is location where all the information will stay. I'll select global. Then there is a time zone. So I'll select my time zone, that is Asia Kathmandu, and default language. I'll choose English. And then there is how you want to start the conversation. Either want to use flow or playbook. I'll choose playbook and create the agent. You will see the screen when a new agent is created, and the whole interface can be very intimidating if you are coming on conversational agents for the first time. So I'll just move outside and click on agent overview to make it much cleaner. And from this point, toggle simulator. I'll toggle the simulator and make sure your start response should be default generative playbook, not default start flow. And then I'll just say hi and hit send. You'll see the response came. This response is coming from this default generative playbook. It doesn't have any goal or instruction to work on, but we will add all the things when we come to that part. This default generative playbook can have access to tools. Consider tools as a way to interact with outside information. In order to work on this appointment scheduler agent, we will be creating 4 tools. So let's start creating the tools. So I'll create my first tool and I'll say upcoming free slots. Now the tool can have a couple of types: open API, data store, function, and connector. But since we are using external API to interact with Google Calendar, I'll choose open API. This tool will have a description that explains when to use the tool. So I'll say use this tool to fetch upcoming free slots for an appointment. Now this tool will take open API schema so that this platform can make request on our backend and get the correct information. So for that I'll just close these things and I'll use this Gemini to create the open API schema, and in the prompt I'll provide the same thing. Now my backend is using get method, I guess, yes, to fetch the upcoming slots. I would like to show you that this application is running locally at this point on my machine, and I'll create another window to run a local ngrok tunneling tool so that internet can connect with my local host. So I'll say ngrok, and on 5000 make sure you use the same port as your local machine. So now I'll have a public URL. So when I copy this and if I go to this health route, it is basically API/health. You'll see a message server is running. Okay, so I'll use the URL, public URL, and then provide my route API upcoming free slot. It doesn't take any input because it uses the current time and date to get the upcoming free slot, but it has output schema. So I'll use this and provide it here. So this is my output schema. So I have free slots on 24th November at these times, and when I click generate, it will generate open API schema. So this is the schema and looks clean to me. So I'll click insert and it will insert it into the tool. Now this URL is public, so anybody who get access to this URL can call my server and get information of my calendar, but I don't want this to happen. So what I'll do is that I'll use authentication API key, and I'll say my header name is X API key, and let me get the value very quickly. Okay, so this is a raw value and I'll use it here, and I'll save this. Let me close this and I'll save this. So that means the tool is set. Let's taste this, and when I hit view output, you'll see all the things are here on output, and it says string is not date time. Okay, that's a warning, we are not using it that way. So so the first tool is connected very clearly. So I'll go to playbook and I'll come here and I'll say my goal is help user create appointment with, let's say, Raj Kapadia. And here I'll say the first thing you do is greet the user and ask what the user wants to do, and then I'll say use dollar, and when I do curly braces it will show all the things available. So we have tools available, so I'll say tools and use upcoming free slots tool to get upcoming free slots. And it seems there is a typo, I'll change it. Oh yeah, I need to first make sure I change it there, but that's okay for now. And let me say one more time. Yeah, it is saved correctly. So now I'll come to the simulator, make sure it is default generative playbook, and I'll say hi. Now you will see a different response coming. Yeah, so it says I can help you schedule an appointment, and it basically fetch all the upcoming slots. So it says on November 24 I have these slots available, and it is basically trying to help me book an appointment. So this is how you can create tools and connect it to the playbook. A playbook. So very quickly I'll create all the remaining 4 tools. When you create a new tool, and if you see this, the previous tool information, make sure you reset this Gemini preview, otherwise it will append all this information into the OpenAPI schema. Okay, it seems it has done a pretty good job, and I'll make sure I use API. I'll say x-API-key and use the correct value here. And let's taste this. So I'll input the parameters here. Okay, name, email. Okay, and let's hit this endpoint. Okay, slots no longer available. It seems there is an event. Since I am testing a couple of things, yeah, there is an event, so I'll delete it. And let's see what comes now. Okay, so this is the event created and link of the event. So this tool works as well. It seems it has done pretty good job, but let me check. I see some issue with it. Okay, it says the output schema is an array of object, but it is not. So I'll first correct this. It is actually type, and I should be, yeah, it seems correct now. I'll provide my authentication X API key, and let me get the value very quick. Let me save this, and let's test this very quickly. It says okay, so I'll provide the date and time and see if that works or not. Okay, so available true, message slot is free, and slot timing. So yeah, it works. Finally, let's create our fourth tool. Okay, so it seems it has created the schema correctly. I'm not sure. Yeah, oh, I guess it again missed this, but let's insert it and update it. So here it says, so our output is not array, it is an object. So I'll remove these things here. Okay, and let's reformat this correctly. Okay, but if you see slot, yeah, slot is an array of string. Okay, so it seems okay. Let's save this again, and let's try to test this if it works or not. And in input, let's provide our date and see what happens now. Oh, authentication error because I did not provide it the authentication. Let's provide it very quickly. X API key, and let me grab the API key as well. Save this. Oh, we need to choose the raw value. Okay, and when I now, okay, so we got the output. So it seems all of our tools are connected to this Google Conversational Agent correctly. So we have created our tools successfully. In the next video, let's create playbook and provide correct prompts so that the conversational agent will use this tool in correct order, correct way, and help us book an appointment in our calendar. If you like the work I put on my YouTube channel, consider subscribing to my channel. That helps. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the life, feel the music. Peace.